You are listening to the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast following a Sens 4-1 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights in, dare I say, Pilsy, a game they deserved better.
I would definitely agree this is a game they deserve better. I mean, we've heard that before, but again, if you look at kind of all the advanced stats, it looks good for the Sens. It's not like the Sens got completely dominated, just the Vegas Golden Knights are able to capitalize in key situations where the Ottawa Senators are not. And you know what? If we're going to look on the bright side here, at least it wasn't a third consecutive 5-1 loss. Let's go with that.
I've got an even brighter side than that. Dare we start the show with some positivity before dissecting what went wrong? And by the way, thank you to everyone who's with us. We'll get to the chat in a moment. It's 1:15 Eastern time, and we appreciate everyone who's listening in their car on their way to work the next day. You couldn't stay up. Maybe it was that William Karlsson goal in the third period that made it 3-1 that made you turn that game off. However, Jake Sanderson has scored his first National Hockey League goal. The Whitefish, Montana native was already the first person from the state to play in the NHL, and now he scores a goal. Pilsy, walk us through what you saw on that play and on the night for Jake Sanderson.
I mean, first thing I saw is Alex DeBrincat missed the net by a couple of feet, like completely not even close. And luckily, this one kind of it really slowed its way going along the boards. I thought that was clear in the zone for sure. Sandy gets there just in time. Heads up play. Hey, get it towards the net. Brady's right there. Maybe he can cause some chaos, and it deflects off the Vegas defender's stick and goes in. And sure, maybe it's not the way you draw it up when he's growing up in Montana dreaming of scoring NHL goals, Ross, but you'll take it. And that was a momentum goal. Finally, the Sens get one on the power play at the end of a period to tie things up. Just like last game up against the San Jose Sharks, you're one period in, the Sens are winning 1-1. You feel pretty good about it. And ultimately, they end up losing this game by multiple goals.
Multiple goals and an empty netter. So no longer can we say, hey, the empty netter made it so it wasn't one goal. No, that was the insult to injury. How about that 30-second shot we got on the bench of Claude Giroux and Tim Stützle just beside themselves?
Yeah.
At this point, you know it's bad when they're not like kicking and screaming. Remember we had that Phil Kessel talk this morning where him and Malkin were going at it on the bench, animated. We thought that was bad. It's way worse when they're just sitting there not saying anything.
Well, Timmy's just like muttering to himself, and Claude Giroux, I think, is in complete disbelief. Like has he been on a team this bad?
Flyers lost twice last year. They had 10-game losing streaks.
Yeah, but they still didn't finish 31st out of 32.
Yeah.
That's where your Ottawa Senators sit right now. I mean, yeah, there were some rough times with the Flyers, but this is bad.
This is very, very bad. And it's not just one thing that needs to change. There's so many. But let's talk about the missed opportunities, because if you're an advanced analytics person, you wake up in the morning and you look at 5-on-5. The Ottawa Senators had 70 shot attempts for 71, and they gave up 40. They almost directed twice as many pucks onto the Vegas net. And I don't think Logan Thompson was like the second coming of Dominic Hasek out there. I thought he played well, but he didn't make any diving saves, desperation, rebounds. The Senators don't attack in waves. How often is the offense one and done? It feels like it either gets frozen or they move it away and they can't sustain pressure. The play that sticks out tonight, though, is Parker Kelly on a shorthanded breakaway. If he scores there, completely different game. Agreed.
And you know what? Parker Kelly does a lot of things right, so I'm not going to harp on him too much here. But if that's a player with a little more offensive awareness, Ross, Matthew Joseph is trailing right behind him. If he goes off to the side a little bit and opens things up for Matthew Joseph and really sells shot and then slides it over, I mean, that's an easy goal on the PK. But I appreciate the confidence. You get a good shot block. You got lots of space. Go for the shot yourself. But that's one where I think a more veteran team is going to notice there's a better opportunity and set that play up, where the Ottawa Senators are just like, hey, we got one good chance here. Let's just go with that instead of trying to improve it. And that was a tough one because the Ottawa Senators, it seems like they get a decent amount of breakaways. And I can't remember the last breakaway someone scored on.
No, me neither. It's been a
Other than
long,
the Joseph 3-on-5 goal.
yeah, which is the only 3-on-5 goal scored in the National Hockey League, as Gordon Miller said on the broadcast tonight with TSN. Let's run through the scoring summary for if you're just getting up, going to work, and like Mark Stone, who else to open the scoring, Pills?
Yeah, I mean, that was my lookout player, Ross. Just like your lookout players have been hot, so have mine scoring in back-to-back games, Timo Meier and Mark Stone.
Yes, there you go. I had to get a little positive Pillsy spin on that one. So he scores for Eichel. Just a side bumper play where Eichel was controlling it on the half wall and Stone popped out. Not great defending there, but also, what are you going to do? At that point, the Sens are dominating. And I'm not even worried. The play there, and you might go with it. Tyler Mott skating around without a stick for 25 seconds. Do you not go to the bench and just get one? I could hear DJ yelling on the broadcast for him to come.
Thank you, because that's the point I want to make. And Tyler Mott's my guy, but he ruined this play. Like, you're killing a penalty, your stick breaks. For me, Ross, if I'm a player killing a penalty and my stick breaks, unless it's like very obvious that I can stop the play without a stick, I'm not even thinking in going to the bench. But then I was like, oh man, he's going to have to clear the zone. He's going to waste so much time. No, he doesn't even have to clear the zone. The Ottawa Senators bench is right there. And you could hear players screaming, the coaches screaming, like you mentioned. I think Holden even starts holding a stick out over the boards, which would have been so easy for Tyler Mott to grab. But he's just out there in no man's land, not really doing anything. And it's essentially a 5-on-3. And a team that has a lethal power play like the Vegas Golden Knights, they're going to capitalize that. And they just do just that. So I was very disappointed with Tyler Mott on that play because easy solution. I think if he goes and grabs the stick quickly, you're wasting maybe 3 seconds, if that. And then you're right back in this play. So that's a tough one.
Yes, and then we talked about Jake Sanderson's first NHL goal, high wrister, finds a way. Brady's banging away. He goes and gets the puck right away. So you knew that Sanderson had his first career goal. That was only a couple minutes later. So into the first intermission, pretty eventless to first 10 minutes. I think the first play was where Sanderson kind of jumped up in the rush. Nice feed from DeBrincat, but he couldn't put it away. Even tried to get his own rebound on that play.
That's my first note of the period, Ross. The rest, I didn't have a single note on that till then.
My note is pretty eventless first 10 minutes. So nailed the regurgitation of that. But then right after, let's touch on this play. Hamonic goes kind of like undercut Brett Howden. I don't even want to know. Let's just call it a battle out front. But Howden falls, and it's almost like the ball just like drops right in front of his face. So he goes, bop, just tries to punch it in. That's pretty clearly no goal. What did you think of the penalty on that play, too, for Hamonic? Fair?
I mean, I think I would have called it roughing instead of interference, Ross, because, well, I guess he knocks him down before the puck gets there. But I think it's worthy of a penalty because if he doesn't get shoved down, then there's a loose puck right there that he's going to be able to go for. So I wasn't too upset at that penalty call. At least they called the goal off, thankfully.
Yeah, so then Kelly went in all alone. It's 1-1 at that point. Ottawa's just gotten this lucky break. Call it lucky, call it, just by the rules. But I think it's still a momentum shifter that you're able to take one off the board that the team thinks they've had in the Vegas players. So then they missed that one. Talbot's pretty good on the next penalty kill. He makes 3 nice saves. Stick taps to Derek Brandstrom. Huge block. Then he stays with it, gets the clear. But it's all for nothing. William Carrier looking like Mario Lemieux, scissoring through the neutral zone. Like Lassie Thompson's going to be on the wrong end of the highlight reel on this one. But Nick Holden's pivot almost landed him in the corner. I don't know where his help was. He was awful all night. He was the worst player on the ice for Ottawa.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to look bad on Lassie, but that is not on Lassie at all. Like, Holden, he starts doing backwards crossovers towards the boards, and there's no one there. And Lassie is right where you want him to be. He's in the middle of that ice. He knows Holden is there, so he's holding his ground. I don't mind that. But Holden just takes himself out of the play there. And Carrier, he notices that, and he's like, all I need to do is get a quick step here, and I'm through both of these guys. And he does it with ease, and then he gets a beautiful play to beat Talbot. Like, no chance for Talbot on that one, but when William Carrier is the guy doing that to you, you got to take a look at the drawing board again here.
Yeah, you really, really do. I mean, what more can you say about that other than the fact that it came with under 5 minutes remaining in the period,
Yeah. Yep.
3:37 left. So you're like, okay, you could feel the momentum pushing and pushing at that point. I've told you the stats, the shot differential, all that in the whole game. A lot of that was first and third, and that whatever first 10 minutes of the second where nothing really happened. But Vegas kind of pushed in and around this goal, and they get it. Then Marchessault rings the crossbar. Imagine that. It was almost 3-1 going to the
Yeah.
third. Marchessault had a beautiful backdoor feed after Stützle had a high sticking penalty. And this wasn't a poorly ref game at all. But the penalties were 4-1. Ottawa gets 4. And would you look at that? More stick infractions, high
That was a
sticks.
lazy penalty for Timmy. Like that, there's no excuse there.
Yeah, he's having some time without he's still getting his cookies, like he's still putting up points. Got an assist tonight. Phantom second assist. Dude, we were saying DeBrincat's primary was phantom. He missed the net.
Honestly.
Jimmy's getting an assist on that. He didn't touch the puck for like 20 seconds.
And to put extra on that, Ross, it deflects off a Vegas Golden Knight player and in. So, like, Timmy is so far removed from that goal. It's wild.
That is a wild give for the assist. So if you have Timmy in your fantasy pool, just thank the heavens for that one. Hey, there you go. So yeah, that was a brutal penalty. Then walk me through the Carlson one. I was just walking in for that one.
The Carlson, oh yeah. So talk about Thompson being on the bad side of highlight reel goals. Well, this wasn't even really a highlight reel goal, but a highlight. Carlson just comes down the wing with a lot of speed. Lassie's trying to hold him off, keep him outside, and then he stops up on Lassie, and just right as he stops up, he keeps pivoting, and then hard backhand from pretty far out, considering for a backhanded shot, and Talbot's simply not ready for it. Like, you got to tip your cap to Carlson. That's a good backhander, but if you're Talbot, you got to be a little bit sharper on that one. So I did like his game overall, but just like the San Jose Sharks game where Timo Meier, that goal, really not acceptable for a goalie to be given up. I would say the same on that Carlson one. And that's just a backbreaker there. Like, you have no chance of coming back at this point at 3-1. The Ottawa Senators can't score 2 goals in a row. They're done. They're toast.
Yeah, Vegas had only lost twice going into the third period with a lead, and Ottawa, of course, they just don't win. They're 0-8-1 when they go into the third period up. And like, I know this is an overused storyline, but we're almost done. Well, until next year. And I know there were outside circumstances. We've been over this time and time again. November is my least favorite month of the year now. Like, the Sens have ruined a month for me. November, I'm going to get chills, PTSD when I start thinking about it next year.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, the days get darker. The L's get more frequently tossed out, and there's not a fun holiday either. Like, obviously, we respect the troops, and Remembrance Day is important, but there's no fun holiday either. So, not a great month.
I might celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow with the U.S. just to feel something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you mentioned you love eating your way out of stress and sad times, so some turkey might do the trick here, Ross.
Yeah, it might do the trick. Now, insult to injury, or the stuffing of this loss, you could say, was Jack Eichel getting the empty netter, the guy who
weird.
We had the stats. He's torched Ottawa, and he does it again. 4-1, the final score. We're going to get to a Sens Central standout or two, if we can find them. I think we can. Right after a quick word from our friends at Bet Online. Bet Online is the #1 sportsbook of the Locked On Podcast Network, and for good reason as well. They better be buying ads double based on my obsession with putting just a couple shekels on the Ottawa Senators. It makes me feel. It does. And if you love sports, you head over to betonline.net and you can get in to every professional amateur league out there. If you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. We're always the fastest and easiest way to get your responsible betting fix. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. It's betonline.net, where the game starts. All right, Ross Levitan here with Brandon Piller. Pillsy, I don't think we introduced ourselves, but at this point, we are the losers that talk about losses for a loser team that has lost 12 of their last 14 games. 12 of their last 14 games. 2-11-1 in their last 14 games.
Yeah, I honestly can't even believe it. Like, it's just like it feels like a part of my soul has been gone for a while now. I'm Ross, I'm getting to the point where I'm watching Sens games more and more as like a broadcaster and less as a fan. Like it's more
Oh,
no, I'm serious. It's more about just all right, get the notes done. Let's be prepped for the show. And it's not like I'm not excited when they score because I'm like, I'm not falling for this. I'm not getting myself emotionally invested in this. So it's sad, but that's how it's going. And we got a long season to go here. So
game 19 tonight out of 82.
yeah.
Haven't even played the Habs for the first time yet, and the season's over.
And haven't even had a back-to-back yet, and the season's over. Like, come on. This was supposed to be, remember we took a look at the start of the year schedule, Ross, and we're like, the Sens actually don't have too difficult of a start of the year. No back-to-backs. Like, the road trips are all kind of feasible. Yeah, lots of home games. Like, oh my God.
I don't know. What I do know is that whoever loses the game on Friday between Ottawa and Anaheim is last place in the NHL. 32nd.
At least the Ducks got a regulation win because you know they would have got their first regulation win up against the Sens if that had kept on going.
Callum, I love you. Callum says the apathy is set in. My guy, you're watching a Sens post-game show at 1:30 in the morning. Apathy is not set in. You're feeling something, and so are we. And that is, it can be apathetic to what we're seeing on the ice, but I think we're all still locked into the organization and wanting them to figure it out. And it's almost kind of fun because to an extent, I know what's wrong with the team, but until we see it, like I don't know. I don't know what's next. Like, what's the next move? Is it really, like, how real is it that they won't make any major personnel moves unless the sale goes down, which we now have kind of bookmarked as mid-January is when we'll start learning. My guy, they play 20 games until then.
Yeah.
I can't
a quarter of the season till
double
then.
What we've just seen. Double what we've just seen. Should we bring out the lottery spin?
Let's do standouts first, and then we'll do the lottery spin.
That's what's so, like, that's why I'm laughing, because they didn't get beat tonight in all facets of the game. And they haven't in many of their losses. I would say they would be an average team. They'd be like Detroit. Like, they've won some, they've lost some bad.
Yep.
But the way that they've lost a few of these games, like, you can only laugh, because if you don't drive yourself crazy trying to dissect each little part that's caused the losses, there's just something cursed about this team right now.
It really is crazy. Like this is some of the better Ottawa Senators hockey we've seen in a while, and it's pathetic. They're second last in the league. They couldn't buy a win. Ryan Reynolds could have a sugar mama and a sugar daddy, and they still wouldn't have a W here. Like, oh my God. That's the thing. Like, I have to remove myself from that fan mindset because it's driving me crazy. You guys saw sad boy Pillsy, maybe even some grumpy Pillsy, and
sleepy Pillsy. We've seen all
sleepy Pillsy. Yeah. Am I just naming the seven dwarves here? Where's Bashful and Doc?
I gotta get this from my mom goes
great. Patty Levitan chiming in here.
She goes, Pillsy could just watch the postcast. Pillsy could barely keep his eyes open. You guys should have been nice and knock on an hour and a half.
Yeah, no kidding. That's when the Pillsies, all the Zeds there were creeping in. But no, I'm alive and well. Let's go. What do you? Can I do my Sens Central standout? Let's go.
Can you answer Jack here though? Is it worth waking up at 7 a.m. on Saturday to watch the game against the Ducks?
God, no. Come on, Jack. Where you been this whole time? Don't do that to yourself.
Wake up at 10 and hop in for the postcast. That's the play.
Yeah, that's the answer right there. Yeah.
And then you can have the highlights of the game on in the background as we break it down. That's the play. Have your coffee, 9:45. You'll be feeling good about it as well. Saturday, too. I was like, wait, isn't the game Friday? Right. You live in the future, Jack. Right, yeah. All right. Pillsy, your Sens Central standout tonight.
I know I mentioned that I wasn't happy with Cam Talbot on that Carlson goal, but other than that, I was pretty happy with Talbot. And the thing that really stood out to me, Ross, for his game and why I wanted to have him as a standout is he did a really good job of rebound control. The Vegas Golden Knights did have some decent opportunities, but they're only staying at decent opportunities because there wasn't juicy rebounds. So that's where I thought Cam Talbot played well. I think he's played well in most of his performances. Obviously, the Sharks one, that's a real stinker. But other than that, I thought he'd been pretty decent here. And I really thought he gave this team a chance to win. Like, they were in this game. It was tight for most of it until that 3-1 goal. And the Ottawa Senators, when you're not able to manage more than one goal a game, what's a goalie to do? So, Sens Central standout, Cam Talbot, hashtag goalie friendly show.
I can't believe you left me the low-hanging fruit. Jake Sanderson was the best Ottawa Senator tonight, and I don't think it was particularly close. Played 4.5 minutes shorthanded, 22-41. When he was on the ice, not only did he make a positive impact, but then he tripled down on how well he played by scoring his first National Hockey League goal. I don't think you can understate how important that is for a player. He kind of played it off. I don't think he did. He's like, you know what? I haven't really thought about scoring my first NHL goal that much. Oh, yeah? Sure. Well, tonight when he was on at even strength in 16 and a half minutes, 27 shot attempts for and only 15 against. But again, all the Ottawa Senators actually had real good numbers tonight in the analytics. Let's see the expected goals percentage when Sanderson was on the ice, 85.6%. So he was just dominant and he rules. Do people want to hear DJ Smith? I want to hear DJ Smith. Should I play it, Pilsy? It's 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Yeah, if the people want to play it.
Yeah,
we're the people's pod.
I feel like we're getting more yes than no's. And then, yeah, a lot of people are saying yes. And we'll get these people who are in the car on their way. And then we'll do one more. We'll get into a couple answers afterwards because you don't have another standout, do you?
God, no.
All right. Here's DJ Smith post game after a 4-1 loss to Vegas.
Coach, how would you sum up this game here tonight?
Disappointing. Thought we hung right with them wire to wire. I don't know what the chances are, but their goalie was real good. Probably too many penalties, but we worked hard. We tried everything we could. We just couldn't score.
End result doesn't obviously help this statement, but on any other night here, you might have probably come away with a win. The way you played.
Oh, for sure. The way we tracked, the way we defended their top players. We couldn't score. Their goalie was real good.
Is this a situation here? We talked about this yesterday at practice, a situation where the process was focused in on and not the end result from start to finish.
All I can ask from the players is to play as hard as they can and do it right, and they did.
And when you got down 3-1 and you get 8 or 9 shots from there, like you reacted well.
Yeah, I didn't. We're trying. There's no doubt that we're trying, and we're not sitting back letting teams take it to us. That's not what's happening. For whatever reason, the other team's goalies have been real good, and we haven't found ways to score.
What do you think about that? Other teams' goalies. There's one more answer, so if you haven't heard it and you see it posted later, you can tune into that. But you get the gist of it. He sounds defeated. I know we saw that in the comments as well, but he really does. And the thing is, like, we know there's things he's not adapting to, but he's also not wrong in the sense that they did play well. So I'm in a weird spot where I wish DJ well. I really like him as a coach, as a motivator, but something's got to give. They've lost 12 of 14 games. Ironically, Dallas Eakins is the other coach. When I was looking through worst winning percentage in NHL coaching history, Eakins is right there too. And the Ducks aren't taking the next step in what they want to do as well. It's curious.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ross. I'm at a confusing, frustrating spot with DJ because I like him. I think he has been a decent fit for this team in his tenure, but it's not the same anymore. Like it's not working. This team can't get wins. Like, I don't know what we're expecting him to say. Like, that's kind of how I would chalk this up if I was a coach. It's frustrating. You can't get the job done. There's only so many cliches you can say here. And I think it's coming time where the Senators just are going to have to change things soon. Like for me, it's not a matter of if DJ is going to be coaching this team or not. It's when is that hammer going to drop? Because it's got to happen eventually here. Like they're just slipping further and further into the bottom of the standings. I mean, 31 out of 32. It's
32 by our next postcast potentially.
Yeah.
The Anaheim Ducks just earned their first regulation win of the season. Their first regulation win of the season.
That's the bar we're trying to meet.
That's where we're tied with right now.
Yeah.
And okay, let's talk about it because we had our standouts. Let's I think wrap on this note. Alex DeBrincat in that third period looked uninterested.
Yeah.
Kind of like the shot on the bench with Stützle and Giroux. Like, that's the body language I got on the ice from Alex DeBrincat, where it's not like I'm mad, I'm upset at how I'm playing, I'm going to go and do better. It's like I'm just kind of packing it in. I tweeted out, we didn't even talk about this the last postcast, but during the last game, I tweeted out at Sens Central, is Alex DeBrincat being Dominique Ducharme? We saw how it affected Cole Caulfield. Like, because earlier on and at times this season, we're like, oh, how does DeBrincat only have this low number of goals? But then there's other times like tonight where it's like he did not look dangerous at all.
No.
I think he pops off if they get a new coach, like immediately.
I mean, you got to hope it can't get much worse than this. And that's the thing with DeBrincat, though. He's getting so many shots. And when the Ottawa Senators acquired him, Ross, I was so excited because I was like, here's a guy where all he needs is 2-3 seconds with space in the offensive zone, and he is such a good shot. He can get any type of shot off, wrist shot, snapshot. Like, he's so quick with his release. He's so accurate. He's got a powerful shot. He's not going to need much creative offense to get going. Like, he just has that shot that he's going to produce for himself, and he's not doing that. Like, he's just flinging stuff on net. He's missing the net completely.
The one in the third period from the half wall, that was such like on the stat sheet, it'll show a shot. Yeah. There's nothing behind it. It was a muffin.
Yeah, it was brutal. And it was just like, he's not himself. Like, it's from the Alex DeBrincat we've seen in Chicago. Sure, he's not playing with Patty Kane. That's a big difference. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Alex DeBrincat, because the only way they can get him going is if they get him on that top line. But then you're breaking up a line that's actually producing for you. And I don't know if that's the best.
Are they, though? Drake Batherson might be their worst forward right now based on expectations. During this 14-game streak, he's been awful, horrible. And it sucks. I was thinking about it while I was watching the game. Like, he's one of the first prospects from the time that we started this show.
Yeah, definitely he was.
Which was right before or after he was drafted. Before. Because it was the summer, it was 2017, right after they went to the Eastern Conference Final. They draft Drake in the 4th round. He comes on the show after he starts kind of lighting it up in junior. Then you and I work for Belleville while Drake's there. Like, we've seen him go from 4th rounder to what we thought was a budding star in the league. He was so nasty in the COVID season. Hands, vision, patience. Now he's just giveaway machine, and he can't get his feet moving. I'm shocked at the on-ice product that we're seeing from 19. Not 17, like DJ said when he was doing the lineup. 19 out there. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I don't know either. DeBrincat and Batherson not playing to their usual selves is a massive, massive reason why this team's not getting it going. Because those are guys where when it's the second period and it's a 1-goal game, you can rely on them to shift momentum with a quick goal or a quick creative play for Batherson that sets up someone else. Like, it's just not clicking for them. And that's the thing. Maybe you just need a new coach so they don't have to listen to the same message and they don't get bogged down by the same routine, and maybe they pop off that way.
Yeah. Kazan saying, yeah, if I see one more dump and chase, I'll go crazy. People are agreeing with the Drake Batherson slant, but not only that, Kevin Hemina pulled it up. Beauty. You got to be following Kevin on Twitter. So he mentioned it. He goes, nobody's talking about the high ankle sprain. That's kind of an injury that can linger, and it doesn't take a skating expert. We don't need to call Shelly Kettles in here to say that Batherson doesn't have his feet going. Like that's what everything is slow about what he's doing out there, and it's not helping. So I don't know. They got to get a lot of guys going right now. And when the mass is struggling, who's the one barking orders, right? If you go into the mass and be like, single out you, and you, I don't think you're getting anywhere. But I think if you bring in a new voice, and I hate to be that person because, like I said, I think DJ Smith is a good hockey coach.
Yep.
It's too bad we've never seen someone be demoted to associate coach because I'd love to keep him on the bench. They need a new voice there. They need to get, I think, whipped into shape a little bit. I don't know what else because I'm lost. We gave him a lot of rope, I thought, in the first 15 games. It's over the last 3 where you and I have really just been like, okay, we're literally doing the same thing every night. They've won 2 games since October 24th. That's a month ago. 2 games in the last month. And November ain't over. We know what November brings. Rain. A lot of rain.
Yeah, like this is one of the quickest pivots I've done on this team. Like I was holding the line, Ross, on not getting frustrated, being patient, being like, look, the process is there, the results aren't there, etc. And this weekend, I've completely flipped, and because there's nothing I can use to support the fact that this is going to get turned around. It's like I don't think I've said the term "it's Groundhog Day" so many times in my life as I had this season. Like it's just the same thing over and over and over again. Like these 3 games have basically been the same game over and over here.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. A different version of the same book. It's like I'm watching a series of unfortunate events right now. And each time there's just a new way, and I don't know.
Sick Lemony Snicket reference. Love it.
I'm feeling like Lemony Snicket right now, trying to figure out what's going on. I have no idea how to fix this team other than point at the obvious immediate change that you can make, where we've seen time and time again in the NHL that you get a new coach bump.
Yeah.
And I think we've already waited too long for it to matter. I think after that San Jose loss, you can kiss the season goodbye in terms of any sort of success. So now that we've already waited too long, now is the play to just be like, okay, wait for the sale. Somebody wrote to us on Twitter. I think it was at Sens Thoughts. Want to give a shout out. The league won't pass up the opportunity of Ryan Reynolds, Vancouver guy, going up there to select Connor Bedard, Vancouver guy, to the Ottawa Senators. You think Vancouver could be even louder when the Sens are in town? When Adam Gaudette goes in on a shootout and scores? Yeah. There's already a lot of Sens fans in there. No, obviously I said that tongue in cheek. There's more than 60 games left on the season.
Yeah, there's way too much time to be getting into this, but it's appropriate, unfortunately. And Ross, look, I don't like to talk about taking one man's job, so obviously I don't like to talk about 3, but I think you need a whole new coaching staff. Like,
oh yeah, the head coach.
They all gotta go.
I think the head coach always picks their guys.
That's the thing. So it's a total retool here. But Jack and I were talking about this in the pregame show with the Future Sickos podcast. Is the thing here is we need to know what is the internal discussion of this franchise. Like, are they sitting there being like, look, let's just punt this season and not make any major changes? Or are they being like, look, there's 60 games left, like you talked about. There's time to turn this around. Let's make a major move here. So they have to decide to go one way or another within the next couple games here, because they need to make some sort of solid commitment decision. And I think it's going to be the first one, Ross, is we're punting this season. It's going to be a good draft. We're not going to make any major decisions. Wait for a sale, and they can make their choices here.
So if you like draft, we've got a scouting report on Leo Carlsson on tomorrow's
Yes.
Senators. This kid is electric, and Oskar Pettersson has a scouting report for him. How? Oh, well, how about playing on his right side for the last 5 games I think they played together in international play? They're great buddies as well. And he may have told us off air that playing with him at the NHL level would be a dream come true, as that's the type of player Leo Carlsson could be. Immediately said, he's like, this guy's going right away.
Yeah.
That's getting ahead of ourselves. But Oskar Pettersson is a Senators prospect, and he's absolutely buzzing. Pilsy, before we go today, again, we want to point everyone to tomorrow's Locked On Senators. We'll have a little sleep, dissect it even more. The Sens, have no time to waste. They're off to Anaheim tonight. U.S. Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm sure they'll all be in their hotel watching U.S. football, I guess, NFL. And then they've got a noon local time game. It's 3 for us, but that's a noon game. So that comes quick out on the West Coast. Billsy, we got to end it off with a spin, all right?
That game's going to be a barn burner. Like that. It's going to be like the Sens Coyotes games of last season, I think.
So is this the first game that you are cheering for a regulation loss? Answer it on tomorrow's Locked On Senators, okay?
All right.
Think about it. I want everyone here too. What is the call for Friday's game? Do you want to win just to feel good? Just for even a brief period? Or is it time to embrace the 2023 NHL draft as we welcome you to the Draft Lottery Simulator?
Sens have the green numbers, Ross. They got the green numbers now.
As it stands, the Anaheim Ducks, who have the lowest points per game percentage, only because they've played one extra game. They're first, 18.5%. Ottawa sits second with 13.5%, and San Jose is in third at 11.5%. Pilsy, would you like to have your spin first or mine?
Let's do mine first. I'll do a 3, 2, 1, then hit it. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, hit it. Oh. The only thing that makes this okay, Ross, is all 5 other teams are in the Western Conference. So
6.
That is a dagger.
And 7 of the top 9. Only Columbus is the other Eastern Conference in the whole top 9. You know what?
Sad spin zone.
But if you could promise me that the Montreal Canadiens would not pick top 10 at all in this draft and also not win a playoff series, I think I would be okay with Ottawa picking as low as 5. Dude, this draft, you could get for me. Stud at 5. We were also due, man. We had hit twice at 1 or 3 times at 1 and once at 2 in our 4 spins. Okay, my turn here. Okay, so here's how I'm going to do it. If Ottawa finishes ahead of Anaheim in the spin I'm about to do, I'm cheering for Anaheim to win.
You're officially on the tank?
On Friday, yeah.
All right.
No movement.
We march on.
We march on, yeah. Another night in paradise as an Ottawa Senators fan. All right, we appreciate every single one of you for sticking around. It means a lot to us. It really does. We're going to stay here every step of the way, win, lose, or draw. And my goal is for us one day, whether it's months, years, half a decade later. Well, things on the internet live forever. I want us to be able to look back at these episodes and laugh at us.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. We had high expectations, certainly higher than this. But we'll laugh through it. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Find us on YouTube, on Twitter at Sens Central, and LockedOn.Senators on Instagram. We'll find something to look forward to. And now we'll have the Oskar Pettersson one as a little backup there. But enjoy the night. Thanks so much. We'll be back again tomorrow and then the postcast on Friday afternoon. Good night. The Senators have lost again. They're 2-11-1 in their last 14 games. All right, get some rest, Sens fans. We'll chat tomorrow. This has been the Locked On Senators Postcast, presented by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.